There's nothing quite like getting up on a weekend to chase after your dreams. While Christopher's out west wrapping up some stuff in preparation for the months to come, I'm taking care of any critical things that need to be done out in the field in his absence. After spending all week sitting at a desk at the office, it feels good to get outside and throw on a tool belt. Gotta love these Chevy Express vans. They're built like tanks. They don't just let you down. Here we're rolling up to a new construction home in the mountains of western North Carolina. This homeowner reached out because he purchased an Anker E10 battery system and needed a contractor to install it for him. So what we're doing here is we're roughing in the conduit, the communications wire, and everything needed to make sure this is a successful installation as construction continues. One thing that I've learned over the years with new construction jobs is it's best to get in there early and claim your space in the mechanical room. All this equipment has dedicated spaces and required working clearances, and oftentimes other contractors get in there and install their equipment in the mechanical room, and they'll leave you at the end of the project with nowhere to put your equipment. So what I've found is marking it out with some tape and sort of claiming your spot early on can help prevent issues like that in the future. So here I am bending EMT conduit because we're having DC, high voltage DC PV power source coming from the roof down to the mechanical room, and that is required by code to be in metal conduit. Now you can use flexible metal conduits, a couple different types, MC cables, whatever. What I found is it's hard to beat EMT. It ensures that you're not going to have any issues pulling wire in the future, especially if you don't exceed that 360 degrees and bends. So you see here I'm deburring the conduit. When you cut metal conduit, it leaves sharp burrs on the ends. If you don't deburr those sharp edges, it can cause the wires to get nicked and ground faults. So that's a super critical part of installing EMT conduit, is deburring the conduit. Using that portable bandsaw is a game changer. It sure beats many other options for cutting metal conduit out in the field. So in here I'm using the set screw EMT fittings. That's pretty standard for any indoor conduit. Once you start running conduit outdoor, you're going to have to use those rain tight compression EMT fittings. Right here I'm cutting some blocking because once we get up into the rafters, there's nowhere to support the EMT conduit. And by code, EMT has to be supported every 10 feet minimum. I generally support it every 6 to 8 feet just to be careful. Now anybody that knows anything about ladder safety is probably going to be down in the comments giving me a hard time because you never want to stand on the top of a ladder like this. But sometimes you just got to get things done. So here you're going to see that I'm installing PV power source stickers every 10 feet along that EMT conduit as required by code. The reason for this code is because later years down the line, if an electrician comes into this house trying to find a circuit to tap into and to install an outlet or some other circuit in the house, if they cut into that line, or if they plan to, they're going to see that big bright PV power source sticker alerting them that, hey, this is not a circuit that you want to tap into. This is high voltage DC. Don't mess with this circuit. Photovoltaic power source. So this is a standing seam roof, and all the other contractors for gas venting and plumbing venting are going out the walls. So I am the one and only roof penetration going through this roof. Brand new standing seam roof. This is a lifetime roof, and this is not something that I take lightly. This homeowner has put their trust in me to do a professional job here, and the last thing I want to do is compromise this brand new standing seam roof. So while standard rubber roof boot's pretty standard across the industry for any metal roof, even standing seam, I'm going the extra mile here, being that I'm the one and only roof penetration. So I have bought this ChemLink Chem Curb, which is a really popular device that's used on flat roofs in general, but this one's specifically designed for a metal roof, with that sealant being specifically meant for a metal roof. So what this does is you install a little puck around your roof penetration and you fill that thing to the brim with Duralink, and this makes an impenetrable roof penetration. There's no way on earth this sucker's ever going to leak. And again, you're not using screws or any other fasteners to fasten that puck to the roof. It's 100% sealant. And once this sealant cures, there's just absolutely nothing that's going to get through there. So here I am just kind of pushing it all down and smoothing it out, doing my best to make it look good. But all this is going to end up getting covered up by the solar panels regardless. So nobody will ever see it aside from y'all out there on YouTube. I went ahead and threw some tape around the top of that conduit just to keep any rain out until we get to the final install. Hey, DIY solar is not for everyone. This stuff is complex, it's difficult. If you're just looking to hire a professional to install solar and storage on your home, go down in that description below. Check out our Rocky Broad Solar intake form. It just takes a few minutes to fill out some questions about your specific scenario. We'll get back to you within a few days with a zero-cost, pressure-free quote. Let's get back into it. So here I'm installing fire caulk, and that's required by code on new construction as well. Anytime your penetration from one floor to the next, and that's just to prevent any air gaps or air leaks. If a fire ever did break out, you know, it's basically going to prevent it from moving from floor to floor easily, and that's just required on basically any electrical or plumbing penetrations on new construction. So that's just pretty standard. A lot of people use that fire spray foam, but in my case, being that I only have a few holes to fill up per project, I prefer the actual caulk itself, and that way I can just use a little bit, throw a lid on it, and save the rest for my next 10 or so projects. Here it is, stubbed down into the mechanical room. That way, once everything's insulated and covered in drywall, we're good to go. Everyone in construction knows electricians are just notorious for not cleaning up after themselves, so I like to set an example here and be the exception to the rule. And this is a beautiful lot with a beautiful view. Really happy to get this installed. I'm really looking forward to the videos that might come in the future. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Till next time, take care.